Today on Be Something Wonderful, why I am is the only manifesting technique you'll ever need. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. The question is, if trying to manifest what you want and desire is creating a reality of manifesting it, but not having it, of manifesting being that person that you desire to be, but not being it, should you just ditch the processes and techniques? Well, remember, the question is never about what you should do or don't do, or whether you should ditch the techniques or not ditch the techniques. What's it about? It's about you knowing yourself as source, knowing who you are, knowing yourself as the creator, knowing yourself as the source of everything that you want and desire. It's never about what you do or don't do. It's about who, and the who is you. And in previous videos on the channel, we've talked about this idea, and we referenced a TV show called The Chosen, the story of the life of Jesus Christ, or in other words, the metaphysical meaning of the Christ, your higher self, or your own I am awareness of being, right? The metaphysical story of the story of Jesus Christ. So I want to go to this, and I want to go to a particular scene that I've talked about in many videos. The scene of the TV show The Chosen, it's the healing at the pool of Bethesda. If you Google that, you can see the entire scene. It really, I've talked about it in many different ways, but it really applies to the question today, whether I should just ditch the processes and techniques. And that it's never about what you ditch or don't ditch, or do or don't do. It's about who. And the who is you. It's about you knowing yourself as the creator, you knowing yourself as the source of everything you want and desire. And the scene starts out, this is from scripture, right? This has been around for thousands of years. But the scene starts out with Jesus as your I am awareness, walking up to the paralyzed man and saying, I have a question for you, right? And the paralyzed man looking up at Jesus says, I don't have many answers, but I'm listening. And what does Jesus, as your I am awareness, ask him? Do you want to be healed? In other words, do you want to know yourself as whole, complete, and fulfilled already? Do you want to know who you really are? What is really the meaning of that question, do you want to be healed? What is Jesus, as your I am awareness, the metaphysical meaning, really asking here? He's asking, who are you? Because the answer to that question determines your entire life experience. Right? Like the man at the pool, the paralyzed man. You're so paralyzed by the circumstances in trying to manifest and create a change in and of your reality, a change of your reality, a change in your reality, that you have forgotten that you are reality, that you are source, that you are the creator. So when Jesus walks up to him, says, I have a question for you. I don't have many answers, but I'm listening. And you're there looking and searching for the answers in the non-fulfillment and the unwanted circumstances and techniques and processes and others. Right? That's why he says, I don't have many answers, but I'm listening. In other words, I've been looking and searching for the answers to my non-fulfillment, to my unwanted circumstances, to the circumstances that I feel paralyzed by. I've been looking for the answers in the processes and techniques and others in the reality that appears out there. But I don't have many answers. But I'm still searching. I'm listening. This is powerful. You are so paralyzed by what you need to do in order to manifest and create your desired life that you're not focused on and aware of already being healed, already being whole, already being complete and fulfilled. You're not focused on that you that's already healed, your imagined end, your imagined identity, your desired outcome. We've talked about this when I referred to the book, The Magician's Way by William Whitecloud. And he talks about the idea, the story talks about being stuck in the swing circle, like a golfer, right? Your eyes are down, you're looking at your swing, you're looking at getting the conditions just right. Your eyes are everywhere but on your desired reality, on that identity that's already healed. You're so stuck and trapped in your own swing circle, right? Instead of looking at that version of you that's already healed, that's already whole. Who are you? But you're looking at all the processes and techniques that can possibly get you to that version of you versus not focused on being it. Do you see? Here's the hole. Here's you in the swing circle looking, what do I got to do? I got to get the swing just right. I got to get the conditions just right to be who I desire to be. Well, Jesus, as your I am awareness, is saying, look at me. Look at me. In other words, look at already being that in that imagined end, already being that desired reality. That's a powerful visual there, right? You're stuck here in this invisible circle of limitations, of trying to get things right, of trying to manifest it, trying to do a process, believing if I get those conditions just right, then I can have everything I want to have, that I can be everything I want to be. Instead of focus on already being it, already knowing you are that. Right? Jesus, as your I am, doesn't answer his question. Right? If you notice, and he says we'll get to that later. Right? Because the paralyzed man looks up at Jesus and says, who are you? And Jesus doesn't answer that question. After Jesus asks, do you want to be healed? The paralyzed man looks up to him and says, who are you? We don't know ourselves yet as that creator, as that source. That's what that represents there. Like, who would be asking that question? I don't know myself as source. I'm focused here in the swing circle, trying to get conditions right, trying to do processes. But Jesus, as your I am awareness, says, we'll get to that later. In other words, you'll know. You'll know. Because it's for you, the physically focused you. That question's for you to answer. And it's not in the swing circle. That's what I like about that scene. Right? You'll notice Jesus, as your I am awareness, doesn't answer the question. He just says, we'll get to that later. He doesn't tell him who he is. Because the question is to you. Who are you? You're going to answer that question. When you're stopped focused on the processes and techniques in the swing circle and focus on already being that person you desire to be. That's powerful. Jesus, your I am, simply states, but my question remains. Right? My question remains. He asks it again, in other words. He's asking him again, second time. Do you want to be healed? Really means, do you know who you really are? That's what that question means. Do you know who you are? You are the power. You are the process. You are the way. That's what that question, it's very powerful. And then the man says to Jesus, will you take me to the water? In other words, is there a process or technique? Can you help me with processes and techniques? You're still in the swing circle, right? He's like, can you take me to, believing that if you practice the techniques enough, if the conditions are just right, you'll manifest what you want. Like the paralyzed man, you're still stuck and paralyzed by your own swing circle of what you need to do, what processes and techniques you need to practice and learn. Instead of putting your attention and focus and awareness of already being that which you want to be. The whole, the flag, right? In other words, putting your attention here. Very powerful. And the man looks towards the pool, towards the techniques, towards the conditions. As Jesus, your I am, nods his head, no. I'm not going to bring you to the pool. Right? And then the paralyzed man says to Jesus, look, I'm having a really bad day. And what does Jesus, as your I am awareness of being, say? You've been having a bad day for a long time. Wow. Think about this answer. If you watch the entire scene with this lesson, you're going to love it. right? You've been having a bad day for a long time. In other words, hear this, you're creating it all. Your past, present, and future, your bad day in every moment, with your assumptions of where your attention and focus is. There you are. Look, I'm having a really bad day. This is the paralyzed man. And you create a past, present, and future of a very bad day, because Jesus answers them, yeah, you've been having a bad day for a long time. In other words, that past, present, and future is your really bad day. It hasn't worked out, it's still not working out, and it will never work out. That's what you're saying there. You're creating a past, present, and future in the now moment of your really bad day. Wow. Very powerful here, right? You've been having a bad day for a long time. In other words, you're still having that bad day, and you're going to create a future of that same bad day as you focus on the techniques and the processes and trying to make something happen, versus already being that person that you desire to be. Very powerful visual here. For a long time, there it is. There's the bad day in the now moment. Whew. Very powerful. So, Jesus asks again, so what's it going to be? That's what he's saying. So what's it going to be? Are you going to stay stuck in your swing circle of I am not yet that which I want to be? Are you going to, or are you going to assume I am that? Jesus is asking him again without saying the full question. Who are you? What's it going to be? And of course, the man digs in, arguing for his limitations like we all do from time to time. Sir, I have no one to help me to the water when it gets stirred up. And when I do get close, the others step down in front of me. And so you're still looking down in the swing circle, right? Even when I get close, even when I see movement in my reality, right? Even when it appears that things are changing, someone steps down in front of me. More conditions pop up that seem contrary or not what I want. But Jesus, here I am, saying, look at me. He's looking off at the swing circle, looking down at the swing circle, looking at the conditions. Look at me, Jesus says to the paralyzed man. That's not what I asked. I didn't ask about others. I'm not asking about who's helping or who's not helping or who's getting in your way. I'm asking about you. Wow. It's about you. Look at me. Look at yourself already being that person that you desire to be. Not here, but here. Wow. Well, otherwise, you're creating that bad day over and over again for a long time. I love this. I'm asking about you. It's about you. It's not about whether you ditch or don't ditch the techniques. It's not about the process of techniques at all. It's not about the circumstances. It's not about your thoughts and feelings. It's not about trying to reprogram or impress your subconscious. It's not about any of that. It's about who are you right now. Wow. It's not about circumstances. It's not about others. It's not about techniques and processes. It's not about changing emotions. It's not about regulating your nervous system. It's not about trying to impress or reprogram your subconscious. You are all of it. It's about you. You are that consciousness. You are that awareness. You are that one divine mind. You are reality. It's not about staying stuck in the swing circle. It's about your desired imagined end, your outcome, that version of you. I'm asking about you, as Jesus says, your I am awareness. And the man finally breaks down here and says, I've tried. Right? I've tried. I've been struggling and trying. I'm stuck in the swing circle. I've tried it all. Nothing seems to work. Nothing seems to change. And Jesus acknowledges that, your I am awareness, for a long time. I know. And you don't want false hope again. I understand. But that's what the next trending technique gives you, false hope, right? You look for that next YouTube video, that next technique that's trending, that seems to be the solution to everything that you want and desire, right? So you keep trying for a long time. For a long time, we keep creating. There we are in the swing circle, right? And there we are, that really bad day for a long time. But this pull, it does nothing for you. This is Jesus. This pull does nothing. It means nothing, and you know it. But you're still here. Why? Right? I love this part where he says, this pull, it means nothing. It does nothing. But you're still here, looking for the next trending technique, looking for the next trending process. When your I am is the absolute knowing. As a creator, you already know, because you're the knowing itself. You're that awareness itself. I am is complete and absolute knowing. And the man answers, I don't know. In other words, when we're trapped in the swing circle, we don't know who we really are, or we forget, we don't remember. That 3D physically focused you says, I don't know. I don't know myself yet as the creator, as the source. But you do know you are that creator. That's the whole point of that exchange right there. Very powerful. And of course, Jesus, your I am awareness, you don't need this pull. You only need me. So do you want to be healed? Do you want to be aware and conscious of yourself, of already being that which you want and desire to be? Notice the man doesn't need to answer. He doesn't answer Jesus here. It's implied. It's done. He's healed in that moment. Right? Do you want to be healed? Who are you? The answer's already there. You only need me. You only need your awareness to be aware and conscious that you're already that which you desire to be. It was never about the swing circle. It was never about the processes and techniques. We're not saying do them or don't do them. Ditch them or don't ditch them. We're saying you don't need any. We're just saying you don't need them. You only need the awareness of already being that which you desire to be. Then do whatever you feel inspired to do. Jesus says, so get up. Let's go. Get up. Pick up your mat and walk. It's all you. The man even says, as Jesus says that to him, as he gets up and he's able to walk, he says, who? Like, who are you? But it's you. It's all you. That's the who. And then Simon says, don't forget your bed. Right? Don't forget your bed. The man says, why does that matter? And Simon says, because you're not coming back here. It's done. Pick up your mat and walk. You're not coming back there. You're no longer that identity. You're no longer in that reality. You are in that new desired state, that new desired reality, because you say so. Because it's already there. Because you're already that healed, whole, complete being that you desire to be. That's why I am is the only manifesting technique, or manifestation technique, or manifesting technique you'll ever need. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, be sure to join us on the Tom Kearin channel. We have another video that we're going to release today on that channel. And in June, we're going to have our 6th live event, our 6th live stream of 2025, our 30th live stream overall on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. Be sure to join us. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.